Hey everyone, it's Jay from J Nix Cards and Collectibles. If you've recently received your cards back from PSA or any other grading service, you might be wondering how to maximize their value. In today's video, I'm sharing my top tips, my best tips for increasing the resale value of your graded cards. So let's jump right in. So the first thing that you really want to look at is the market. So we want to know the market for the card. In particular that you're trying to sell. So if you understand the market, it's critical for maximizing the value of your cards. I'm going to go over some market trends and everything here, but the card in particular that I want to talk about is this Joe Burrow Gem Mint 10. This is just a Donruss rated rookie. So this is like one of his most basic rookie cards from 2020. And you can see here on my listing, this sold recently. Actually ended on it sold yesterday. So I had it at $84.99 for a long time, and then I also ran like a special. And so this card, this has been listed now since the off season. And so there really wasn't anything with Joe Burrow in the off season that was I mean, the hype train really wasn't there. Joe is Joe, right? Well, then he throws 5 touchdowns, right, on Sunday Night Football or Thursday Night Football, and all of a sudden now we've got some interest here in Joe. And so if you know the market, you know the trends, you know some different things. I had a feeling this was going to sell either over the weekend or this week. So that's a big thing. Knowing those trends, knowing what's happening in the sport with your player, with the team. All these different things that can make a huge impact. And that also goes right in with the second thing, which is knowing the right time to sell. So even though I've had this listed for a while, I did have it listed at top dollar. And I had it listed at top dollar just in case Joe Burrow starts the season with 20 touchdowns, no interceptions, something like a Lamar Jackson type start. I thought maybe I could get top dollar for it. But we can go in here and we can look at some of these sales. So I'm going to click here in 130 point and we're going to go through some of the sales. So you'll see like an SGC 9 sold for 20. We've got, let's see, a rated rookie here. That looks like a 9 sold for $18.50. I think we're going to get to mine. So this is my listing here, $63.74. We can go down the Optic rated rookie PSA 10 sold for $42 on the same day. So to me, that's a better card than just the Donruss. Same thing, Optic rated rookie sold for $37. Another one sold for $42. This one's just a regular rated rookie. So I actually got really good value out of this, considering almost all the sales were under $50. So I don't know if that's just kind of the followers that I have and the discount that I sent out, but it was a perfect time to sell that Joe Burrow card. So I'm kind of showing, this is almost like a layup. I'm showing you an easy one. And also it wasn't one that I was actively trying to sell. So let's just say in the event you're actively trying to sell something, right? You have a card, it's hot, the player's hot, you just got it back from PSA. Well, now we want to kind of look at some groups. So we want to look at, I'm in a few groups here under my Facebook profile. And so you can see these, and these are some groups that I can throw out. Say that Joe Burrow card, I could throw that out there and say, hey, what do you guys recommend I list this at on eBay? And I'm going to get a wide range of responses, but for the most part, I know who to listen to. If you're new to the hobby, it's definitely something that you're going to have to get accustomed to. You're going to have to grow some thick skin. You're going to have to listen to everyone tell you that everything you have isn't worth anything. I mean, this is the way the hobby goes, and especially in online forums. However, you can get some nice advice. You really can. You just have to know which guys are willing to give you the advice, and then you take the conversation off of the forum, off the group, maybe private message them, whatever the case. Also, the one thing to look out for in here are scammers. So if you put a card out there, you say, how much do you think this is worth? You're going to get someone that's like DM'd you, PM'd you, whatever the case, right? Generally, if they do that, it's a scam. You don't want to do that. They're going to end up having you ship a card to them, and the payment's not going to go through, and it's just going to be a big mess. So I personally do not sell in the groups. I will not do it. I know a lot of guys that do. I just really love having sales through eBay and that are more official, where I can send tracking information. If there's a dispute, they can file it on their end. I have a way to kind of protect myself. So all parties are protected when it comes to the eBay purchase. So that's just my take. Everyone's got their own thing, but if you're going to do it in one of these forums, you just have to be really, really careful of how you do it. You also have to present the card and your sale with sort of the same feeling of security. So you want to be able to offer it and say, hey, I take PayPal goods and services, Venmo goods and services, any way for a buyer to maybe have a little bit of recourse if the card isn't maybe in the condition that you say it is, although it's graded, so it shouldn't matter. But if you're selling raw cards, you definitely want to do that, just so there's a little bit of recourse there. And then also you have a way to dispute it if you take really good pictures and everything. So just letting you guys know, that's my take on selling in these groups in the Facebook, online communities. So those are the first two things, in my opinion: knowing the market, knowing the right time to sell, and then what we'll do is, let's say you got a card back from PSA and it graded at a 9, some of these 9s on modern cards do not go up in value really at all. Like, you're barely going to get money back for the grading. It would have been worth it more to just sell it raw, especially when the time value of money and all that stuff involved. Like, you would have been better off just taking it from the pack and selling it if that was your intention, was selling the card. But there is the other thing, which is, do you want to regrade it? Do you want to crack the slab, regrade it, to maybe get a little bit higher value, or maybe you send it off to SGC, you got a 10, and then you see the PSA 10 maybe sells for double, and it's a big card. That could be worth sending it off to PSA to see if they can give you a 10 on it. Paying double to grade the card kind of stinks, but it could be worth it if the PSA value is that much higher. The next thing that I'll go into is knowing the population. All right, so this is the Joe Burrow card right here, so number 301. If you know how to go to PSA and you know how to use the pop counts, you'll be able to see right here 10,500 Joe Burrow Don Russ rated rookies have been submitted. These are just the base rated rookies. 6,000 have received 10s, so over half, way over half, have received 10s. So that's why, if you're buying a Josh Allen PSA 10, I think it's generally a couple $100. It might be more than that now, but a Josh Allen 10 is a lot higher than Joe Burrow. And it's, they've both sort of accomplished the same, I would say, except I think, Burrow's been to the Super Bowl. Either way, this really factors in. How many 10s are there? Is it easy for someone to get a 10? And you could tell, just in one day right here on November 11th, look at all these PSA graded Joe Burrows that sold. So a lot of people must have listed their Joe Burrows, right after that Thursday night game, and they were for sale all weekend. And you can see the parallels do sell pretty good. Although, look, this one was listed at $1,300, sold for $710, right? That's the Aqua Prism. So, it is what it is. It can be great. Okay, so here's one that sold for more. So this one actually was in an auction and it sold for $89. And this is a Joe Burrow rated rookie, sold a day before mine, went into auction. They made $25 more than I did. So that tells you too. So you can do it in an auction format, or you can do it buy it now. If you want to risk it, you can risk an auction going for, let's see if there's another auction. You can risk the auction going for $51. right? Could go for 51. Or you can do the buy it now on mine, right? And I ended up with 63, plus shipping. So it's a roll of the dice in a lot of ways on eBay, but you are going to get it in front of all the people. And that, I think this also goes into the next tip that I have, and that's like your presentation and marketing, right? So when it comes to selling your graded cards, like the presentation does matter. So for me, I don't run them through a scanner. I don't do anything like that. I do kind of prop them up on a stand. You can see in the image here. The high quality photos are good. Show the condition, take a picture of the label, make sure everything is very visible on the label, where someone can go into PSA, check the cert number, write the detailed description of your listing, use different key buzzwords, and then if you want to get on social media and promote the cards, that's another way to kind of get more eyes on it. If you have it listed with something like eBay, or if you're just selling it, individual to individual through social media, or, just looking at it like you're selling it on Marketplace or something like that. You really want to be accurate with the description and take good pictures, and then you can share it and get some interest. The other thing is, if you start networking, right, you start meeting people at card shows, you start meeting people online, and you realize like who they collect, which teams they're into, things like that. I have a lot of guys already. I have this, it's not a Rolodex, it's not that old, but it's like a spreadsheet. And I have guys where I know, okay, that's a Milwaukee Brewers fan. This guy is my Cleveland guy. This guy loves the Astros, and every card that comes in, if I'm looking at moving it, I will reach out. If it's an Astro, I'm reaching out to the Astros guy, reaching out. And then generally, I'll give them a little bit of a break. I'll give them a discount because they're repeat buyers, right? And you can even see, let's see, if I go, I don't like showing eBay IDs on here. And I'm not going to show eBay IDs, but if I go through my eBay sales, it'll show repeat buyer on there. So a lot of guys that I have will follow the shop and come back and spend some money. So anyway, just wanted to kind of show you guys that, be patient, be persistent, don't post it every day on social media and things like that. And if someone's interested, don't like hassle them about it. If someone's going to spend money with you, they're going to spend money with you. It doesn't need to be something that they've got to consider for weeks and weeks and weeks. It'll happen if it's going to happen, right? And then also don't rush to sell if you don't have to. Joe Burrow, this might not have been a good thing. I mean, Burrow may come back. I mean, I know they lost the game. I know they've got a losing record, but who knows? They could come back at the end of the season here, make the playoffs, win a Super Bowl, and all of a sudden this card's double. So you don't feel the pressure to sell. Make sure your timing's right. And the price meets like your expectations. You don't want to take less than what you think it's worth, but you also have to have reasonable expectations on that value. And then, just stay persistent, research the trends, promote your cards. The more informed and connected that you are, the better, and better chances are of like maximizing your value. And so I'm going to close the video with that. If you follow most of these tips, you're going to see an enhance in the value of your graded cards, I think. Whether you're looking to sell or if you're just trying to like build a collection of nice, like high valued graded cards, that's a way to do it too. Industry, you can kind of flip that script, and now you're looking at it from a buyer's perspective, But if you've got any tips, if you have any experiences with this that you want to share in the comments, go for it, guys. I love getting in there and kind of chatting with everyone. So leave a comment, hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed. Check out my other videos. We've got a couple other videos this week that I'm going to have out. We're going to do one that's about submitting to PSA, preparing cards for PSA, and then I've got a really good one on cracking slabs. So you're not going to want to miss that. That's going to be cracking slabs with a chop saw. So it's going to be one of those. I got to put a warning label on it. So anyway, guys, all right, it's been fun. We'll see you next time.